Hey John, good morning. Hey, we wanted to make a quick video so that when the Aperta arrives and you guys get reunited with it in Tennessee, that you understand how the top and everything needs to function. It's a little bit different than on some of the other cars. So Nathan's shooting the video. I'm going to point at some things, and then we're going to have another segment where we actually take the top off, stow it in the trunk, and then do it all in reverse again. When you're inside the car, where I am now, there are 5 connection points for the top. Here, just in front of the driver's face, there's one. When it's locked, it shows green. There's also one kind of right behind my head. Also, when it's locked, it shows green for locked. This middle one, there's a release button, and then you pull back on it. So it's kind of an over the center latch that holds the middle of the top down. So push the release, flip that guy back. From the rest of these, we're going to probably show you kind of an inside outside the car combination, because you do have to physically push down on the top in order to slide these guys back and release them. You can't just release it from in here. You got to create a little bit of tension on the top to release that pin. So we're going to show that in the next segment, and then also the top coming off altogether. Here we go. So on this one, Nathan's going to show from the inside. On the outside, John, what I'm doing is I'm just using the flat part of my palm, and I'm creating some pressure down on the corner of the top here. So I press down just a little, and then I click back. You'll notice it goes to red because now it's not latched in position. Let's go to this back one. Do the same thing. Press down on the corner, click back. It's obvious that now it's open, goes to the red. And then same thing on the passenger side right above Nathan's head. And then if you can pull down just enough, Nathan, to see this, when we're gonna go ahead and release the top, there is a release button that has to get pushed in here. And when you do that on both sides at the same time, 2 guys can just lift the top off and then carry it back over the car and store it in the trunk. I already undid the center latch. So again, there's 5 latches, 2 on each side and 1 in the middle. With all 4 of those, all 5 of those undone, we'll do a next video clip. So John, all 5 of the latches are undone on the inside. And if you remember, I told you there's a release button on both sides in the front. I'm going to press in on that button. Jim's pressing in on that button on the far side. Then you just grab the top and lift straight up, and then just walk it back over the car. So at this point, you want the trunk to be closed. What we're going to do is then open the trunk, which was already partially open, and we're going to spin it, because the back side of the top is what slides in first. Right in here to this spot, tuck it in, slide down, and it'll just kind of sit there for a second, and then it'll latch down in place. Oops, sorry about that. So now it is totally secured inside. It's not going to slide around. It's not going to mess around. Top will close. The trunk will close just like that. You can have your stuff in the trunk. Lift it back up again. Now what we're going to do is probably switch to a last frame, and I'll show you how we release it from the trunk and then kind of do all of that in reverse to get it secured back on the car. All right, John, last part. I've got the trunk already open, but when you want to put the top back on the car, open the trunk area. The top is secured in place, right? If I just grab it and try to pull out, it's not coming out at all. What you have to do along this back edge, or really the front edge of the top, you have to use the palms of your hands, and you have to kind of press down and forward just a little bit, and then that releases it. There's not really a spring action that you feel in there, but you have to press down and forward and kind of pop it up like that in order to get it to release. All right, now I've got Jim in here to help, and we're gonna go ahead and slide it forward. We're gonna grab from underneath. Again, this is the front of the car. So I'm going to close the trunk down like so, spin it, and then just walk it back gently and carefully over the back of the car like this. We just kind of go get the front edge on, get the back edge in place, and just straight down. We just give it a little bit of pressure. It's on now, but it's not latched. The next part is we'll go back inside and show you how to do all of that in reverse so that we're locking all 5 of those positions back in place. All right, so John, now like you just saw, the top is on, it's sitting in place, but it's not locked back down again. So what I'm gonna do, just like when I released the latches, I'm gonna press down on each corner to create a little bit of tension, and I'm gonna press forward on these little silver deals here. That's gonna insert the pin into the A-pillar, and on the back side here, when I press down a little bit and push that pin in. It's going to insert it in the B pillar. So I'm pressing on the top corner at the same time I'm shoving that pin. So I put a little bit of pressure, and then I latch the front, open palm, a little bit of pressure, latch the back. Center one is just an over the center latch. So I go ahead and pop that guy in like so, so it just latches in place. And then there's two more over Nathan's head right now. Do the exact same thing on that side, and that gets the top latched back on the car in place. All right, so John, one other thing. Dave obviously wrapped the whole front end of the car, all the carbon down low. Everything's very protected. We also did the A-pillars here. So this glossy black section of the A-pillar, this is wrapped. So if you're getting fingerprints on it, doing all that pushing and pressure and stuff that I talked about, this piece is protected. We also put clear bra on the entire part of the exposed carbon top. So all of these handprints from putting pressure and latching and unlatching, you just wipe those off with a microfiber. We'll make sure there's a few in the trunk for you, and that'll get rid of the fingerprints. But it's protected and safe because it is wrapped with clear bra on the roof section here. So hope you guys have fun. Hope this makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions.